300 miles east in Haywards Heath, former architect Michelle Wibberwoe's next commission is also for something close to home.
The cake I'm making is to celebrate the annual Lindfield Art Festival. It's the village right where I live. So the cake is going to be the edible piece of art.
The Lindfield Art Festival, now in its 9th year, is organised by Claire Fuller.
I've asked Michelle to make us a tree because the lime trees in Lindfield on the high street are like a big feature. It's really important that this cake is fabulous. It's going to be a very busy festival weekend and we all need some cake at the end of that.
It's going to be a life-size tree. It's going to be displayed in the tall house, which is one of the oldest buildings in the village. It has such a low ceiling, so I'm going to make it look like as if it's going through the floor above.
Built around a custom-made structure, Michelle's life-size tree cake will be sculpted from 13 vanilla sponges, wrapped in 20 kilos of edible bark, and hung with hundreds of rice paper leaves. Her trickiest task will be assembling the giant tree inside the village's tiny toll house.
I've never done a tree cake before, especially life-size, indoor. And I'm so excited to get it started.
Having already built the tree's giant non-edible structure,
It's taller than me. Goodness.
Michelle starts on the sponge for the trunk.
I've done a template to see the size of the trunk that I need. And I'm going to just cut it all off roughly. That's done.
And after layering them onto her central support with generous amounts of buttercream, it's carved to shape.
I can just carry on and I'll end up with no cake.
Next, Michelle seals the cake in more buttercream and begins wrapping it in 20 kilos of fondant bark.
I'm quite pleased with the progress so far. It looks looking good. It's getting there. Not yet, but it will look like a trunk.
But with the unveiling in just 2 days, Michelle still needs to make her tree blossom with hundreds of handmade edible leaves. In Haywards Heath, extreme cake maker Michelle has been busy creating a realistic bark effect on the trunk of her lime tree cake.
It's really time-consuming because it's quite a lot of surface to cover and you have to do individually. Okay, that's it, done.
Next, Michelle gets to work on the non-edible branches for the top of the tree, which she's carefully covering and moulding in sugar paste.
Each branch will have twigs filled with lots of leaves. I'm going to cut the leaf shape onto this rice paper, and afterwards I will spray some colors and stick them onto the twigs. The leaves are going to be colorful because it's for art festival. I would reckon I would need hundreds of leaves, so it's going to be a long night, I can tell you that.
The next morning, Michelle's finished making hundreds of rice paper leaves.
Can't see everything.
And is busy adding some authentic tones to the bark with edible paint.
I finished airbrushing the trunk, it's looking great. And there's one more job, which is the leaves. I've crinkled them so they don't look flat. Now I have to spray them individually.
And after 6 long hours,
Airbrush. See the big difference?
Michelle can finally start assembling them onto her branches. But there's a problem.
It's taking a long time. I've got hundreds of them to stick on. So time is ticking away.
In Haywards Heath, it's the day before the Arts Festival, and with all her edible leaves finally attached, Michelle's applying the finishing touches to her lime tree cake.
Done! After all the struggles putting those leaves on, now it's a matter of transporting it.
Due to the cake's size and weight,
I don't want you to break your back.
Michelle's enlisted the help of some professionals to get it to the venue in one piece.
Oh, brilliant. Done, 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 done.
And once inside,
Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a million.
it can be assembled in position for the first time.
I just need to make sure that it looks like it's one piece going through the flower bar. It's done. I want to see Claire's reaction, and I hope she'll be pleased.
Towering over 6 feet tall and built from a whopping 13 vanilla sponges, Michelle's lime tree cake has been wrapped in 20 kilos of realistic fondant bark, which took her 6 hours to perfect. It's covered in hundreds of hand-cut and individually sprayed rice paper leaves, which hang gracefully from its branches. Time to show festival organiser Claire Fuller.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that is amazing. Wow, that's amazing. People aren't going to realise that's a cake because it's so much like a tree.
The next morning, with the art event well underway, visitors are queuing up to take a look.
It's an amazing piece of work, and I can't wait to eat it.
That is delicious.
Very good. Very good.
What Michelle created was amazing. Something everybody has enjoyed, young or old. I think Michelle is fantastic.